All right, before we get to this college football thing, I'll be damned. You know, we don't always bring up commercial break fodder onto the show, but I have to. I have to draw a line in the sand on this. Even Kenny Cott thought this opinion was ridiculous, and he doesn't know a GD thing about college basketball. The man to my left said with a straight face, Metro Detroit, he goes, you know what? Doesn't matter how bad Michigan is, Juwan Howard's back next year. To which I responded with, and...
I thought you were going to hit me with a no.
No. Oh, I mean, I can give it. I would be the general opinion of any Michigan fan. Hold on. You truly, and you said it with a straight face.
Yeah.
Juwan, how?
Mike, if you listen to Juwan Howard is Troy Weaver. Troy Weaver is Juwan Howard.
But they both talk like third graders?
No. When they talk, they speak about next year. They're talking about the future, and there's no sense of urgency. They've talked to the right people who've already said, you're good. Juwan Howard, Mike, when you're watching this man coach, he doesn't coach like a man who's fighting for his life. He doesn't coach like a man who feels like I'm about to get fired.
He doesn't coach like a man who knows basketball. How are you in a zone with 3 minutes to go and not following MSU? What are you doing?
He went from a guy who open-handed slapped not one, but a couple guys, okay? And now all of a sudden, your team is down 8. 3 minutes to go. You went into a zone. You didn't foul players. You let Michigan State milk the clock. And then with 30 seconds to go and you're down 10, you call a timeout, pull out the whiteboard and design a play. What 11-point play are you designing? And then in the post game, he's talking, we had our fans were great. Like,
what fans?
You mean the fans that were chanting "Go Green, Go White"? The fans that were telling Doug McDaniel, "Do your homework"? Those fans? The fans that had Reed pissed off because he's like, I can't believe they came into our house and disrespected us this way. Juwan is safe. I don't see how this Ward Manuel came out last week and said, hadn't even crossed my mind.
Well, what's he going to say? Yeah, the dude's a bum, and I'm going to ace him after they play Nebraska? I mean,
Mike,
come on.
No, he went above and beyond. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
they're on their way to going 8-23.
Well,
David, you're nodding your head. You buy this too?
I did not when we talked last week. I did not believe what he was saying until over the weekend when you have Wojo asking the question. And he's basically saying, you're crazy for thinking that. Of course I'm here. I'm committed. I'm going to be here.
You don't know me. If you knew my story, you would understand.
Yeah, raised by Chicago and stuff.
That changed my mind on it. I'm with Rico.
Wojo was like, maybe you stepped down for health reasons. And he looked at Wojo like, those are your words, not mine. You don't know me. You don't know my story. And then I'm just listening to the whole press conference. It reminded me, like when Troy Weaver speaks and you're thinking to yourself, he's not going anywhere. Like, you want him fired, but he's not going anywhere because he speaks in...
Yeah, well, then I asked you during the commercial break, I go, well, what does he have? Like a top 5 class coming in? And your response, well, I'll clean your response up. You said, no, they have no recruiting class coming in. So he's not even selling hope that he's got 3 of the top 10 players in America coming in next year. I was stunned. I thought it was just so obvious that Juwan is toast.
I think they're going to preach patience the way they did with Jim Harbaugh.
We got to put this on the board.
Okay.
Are we going to do a dinner bet on this?
We can.
I will upgrade this to a dinner bet.
Okay.
Now, I may not be at it, especially if David brings his kids, but I will buy the dinner. Dinner bet.
I don't see a man who's like the fire and the passion where you man, I'm on the hot seat, fellas.
Damn.
And you guys making me look bad. Like, you don't see the intent. He's just standing on the sideline. When they went to a zone, Mike, you could tell Tom Izzo, his players were looking at each other like, so you're not going to foul us. You're going to let us run out this 30-second clock, right?
Every time.
Every time down the court. And you realize, even if we don't make a basket, we're taking a half a minute off this. Okay, sure.
Wow. And David agrees with, okay.
I do sadly agree.
I'm stunned.
I thought with comments where Manuel had comments last week, and I'm thinking, well, maybe he just has to support him now. Doesn't want to throw him under the bus now. But
David, I think for Ward, he didn't get rid of Jim. and it brought a championship. He stuck with Jim after COVID, how bad it was. You couldn't beat Ohio State. And they're looking at this as maybe this is the blip on Juwan Howard. Hey, this is the first time MSU went into Chrysler and beat Juwan.
Now, hold on there, blippity blip. The only damn winning he did was in the fake outer space COVID year.
Understand.
So let's just calm down with the blips.
Understand. It's one of those things where I don't think that's even at the top priority of the Michigan athletic department.
No,
Unbelievable.
I think you're right, Rico. I think it was a detriment to when he stuck with Harbaugh. Harbaugh began to win, which is great. That's what Michigan fans wanted. That's what I wanted.
What, cheating?
But
I'm sorry. I didn't think this was on.
But I think it became a detriment or a weak spot to Manny where he's probably thinking, well, it worked. I stuck with the guy before. Let's just stick with this guy. It'll work eventually. That's a bad spot to be in. And I think that's where he's at.
This relationship is failing, but let's hang around long enough to see if it gets good.
He didn't have his point guard for half of the Big Ten season, so what if you had him for the whole season?
He didn't open a damn book.
Just saying.
Hell, Michigan State had a point guard get shot. You don't hear anyone up there crying.
But he wasn't Doug.
Oh, please. I know you're being facetious, but this is quite upsetting to me. It is the most obvious thing in the world the dude should be gone.
Should be.
Do you know how hard it is as a major university to go 8-23 in a basketball season? Now, I'm not talking Rudy Poo U of D, shout out Titan Club.
No.
I'm talking a major program at a major university.
I think Cookies said last week, the last time, you may know this because you do the podcast with them, that Michigan finished last in the Big Ten.
Somehow I just see Brian Ellerby's non-functioning sweat glands.
No.
He looked like a wax figure.
No.
Ooh.
60s.
What?
Yeah.
Up next, Rico's sit down with Cassie Russell on the 5-Star Zone. I mean, the 60s?
Yeah. But I think they believe that this year is a one-off. Juwan is just, there is no sense of urgency with him. He doesn't look like a man who, Mike, you've seen, heck, you witnessed it at MSU. Like, State started losing, and all of a sudden Izzo's like, hey, don't quit on us. We're going to come back. Juwan is, like, being all philosophical. It's like, did you watch the same game that we did? As they're screaming, go green, go white, and you're congratulating your crowd?
But the other thing to me, and I know this will be me serving the poo-poo platter, but it's not like you went, like, okay, if Michigan in an alternate Rico Beard TV network college basketball, if Michigan was in the Big 12 this year, it would never be acceptable to, be, 3-17 in conference play potentially. But at least Big 12's got like a bazillion ranked teams, and it's really, really good. This is one of the worst editions of the Big 10 I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're probably going to send 6 teams to the tournament.
Right. So my point is, it's even more egregious. Again, they might turn it on. You don't want to write them off. I know they beat Wisconsin.
No. Here's where it gets worse, because once again, and this is where it frustrates people like Rieger and David, you had the lead in the second half once again and found a way to not score in not the final 3 minutes of the game, in the final 7 minutes and 4 seconds. It was tied 63-all, and you didn't score another basket after that.
Man, look at how bad this Big Ten is. Do you know how many teams have fewer than 8 losses on the year? 2.
I was about to say
Purdue. 2. And Illinois. And Illinois ain't no damn good. And Matt Painter's oversized head is a first weekend exit.
Well, Illinois was minus their star player for off the court thing. So
yes.
But yeah.
I mean, look at these. 9 losses, 11, 12, 14, 11, and then there's Michigan, 18. And if you look at their last 5,
but
they may lose them all.
The problem is they have 18 losses. But, Mike, they've had the lead in the second half of games and found, other than Wisconsin, they just pissed away all their leads.
Which I was just waiting for them to just give the lead away.
I actually put money on Wisconsin. What?
I took care of it. Rico's just cutting it loose.
So,
my God. All right, you don't even realize. 248-539-9797. All right, We have breaking news in the world of college football. Rico's going to update you. The playoff. The structure's out. It's been approved. One problem. There's no TV deal. I'll let him explain it while I just sit here and flip him off. 97.1.